Scott and Vida here.
Wait, I'm laughing now.
Hey guys, Scott and Vida here. We're going to do a quick blitz interview on nutrition and food. So my question to you is, what is your favourite food and why?
Um, as cliche as it sounds, but my favorite food is something I feel energized from and I feel light from, and I don't feel stuffed or sleepy or heavy. So something what gives me actual fuel to perform throughout the day. And nothing fancy in my case. Actually, what I really love is like sweet potato and beetroot. I really love it. Sweet potato is like really good carbs and gives me so much energy. So I wouldn't necessarily eat it late at night, but to eat it for lunch and then after I digest, go to the gym, I feel like a superwoman.
Nice.
So yes,
It's one of my favourites too.
yeah, sweet potato, delicious and nutritious. Okay, so I'll ask you like, how would you say, like, what role nutrition plays into health and fitness overall situation?
Well, health and nutrition is absolutely key to overall health and obviously training. We really are what we eat. I genuinely believe in that saying. The food we consume and the nutrition we give our bodies will affect not only how we perform today, but how the body develops into latter life. You know, the cells in the body and everything is regenerating on an ongoing basis. So if we're not giving it the necessary micronutrients and minerals and proteins it needs, it becomes deficient in certain areas, and that's where illnesses and diseases occur. So yeah, it's absolutely crucial not just to function today and perform for certain sports or activities or just daily life, but it's also absolutely crucial for the health as we move on through life and develop.
More than anyone, I think, actually imagines.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely exercise and moving your body is absolutely crucial, but nutrition
Not as
before anything else. You
I
know.
wish it would be opposite because I would just work out 24/7, but unfortunately, have to look what I eat,
Yeah.
which is good. Like, it's good learning process.
Nice. So, what would be your favourite? You mentioned sweet potato, nice starchy carbs before workout. What's your favourite go-to meal after a workout?
Again, I guess it depends at what time of the day I work out, but something definitely more light. However, we need to replenish those carbs, like, nutrients we lost during workout and burned. So I don't have like favorite one, but I don't like to stuff my face into something after workout because I feel already energized and light. So I want to keep that feeling.
Nice.
So what would you choose? Because I couldn't think of something very specific, as I eat every day a bit different.
Yeah,
You are more
I'm quite
like it.
opposite.
Yeah.
If I do go for it when eating, then it's that for me that post-workout nutrition meal is absolutely crucial. As you said, that your glycogen is depleted, that's stored carbohydrates in the muscle. You want to replenish those as quickly as possible, and also spike your insulin and get the body recovering as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but it doesn't
So-
mean go and eat everything because you lost so much.
Doesn't
you
mean
know,
go
like-
crazy. It just means if there is a time to eat more simple sugars which are higher on the glycemic index, which the body breaks down faster, if there is a time to do that, then it's after a workout. However, don't go crazy on the simple sugars. Nice,
Better not.
nice meal of complex carbs. Like you say, sweet potato I like either before a workout to energize, or equally after a workout is great as well to replenish those lost glycogen stores. Definitely some protein to help protein synthesis and help the body start recovering, giving it all the amino acids it needs to repair.
So, because you mentioned protein, and I know so many of you would say, "Oh my God, you vegans and protein. Where you get your protein from?" We get this question, so let's cover it now.
Yeah, I mean,
So, like, what protein would you like eat and get after workout? Let's see if we keep the same question.
yeah, I mean, straight after a workout, you could have You could have a nice vegan protein shake, a nice vegan blend. That's something you could have quite quickly just to start the recovery process, and then maybe to an hour to an hour and a half after, you could have a nice protein-rich meal, which could involve anything from processed protein. I don't like processed foods, or there's processed foods with zero nutrition, which are empty calorie processed foods, and then there's processed foods like tempeh, tofu, things like that, which are still processed. They don't come off the trees in that natural form, so there's some degree of processing that's undergone to get them like that. However, they're very nutrient dense, very high in protein, loads of micronutrients. So I'd have something like some tempeh, some grilled tempeh or tofu, sweet potato for the carbs, and then a nice bowl of mixed veg. You know, you really can't overdo the veg for those micronutrients.
Lentils,
Quinoa, lentils,
buckwheat.
beans. You can have some
Yeah.
nuts, although you've got to be careful of the fat content if you're trying to lose weight as well. They're very nutrient dense, but also very high in fat. It's good fat, but they can really bump the calories up if you're trying to adhere to a calorie deficit. So it's just something to be mindful of. But yeah, any of those you listed, any beans, pulses,
Legumes, like,
yeah, any of those will do.
yeah. And you know, like, if you think that you just tofu, like, oh, what vegans replace meat with, you don't necessarily need to replace the piece of meat with piece of tofu, right? Like, so many, yeah, legumes, beans, vegetables, grains have protein. So if you are aware like how many grams all of those things have, and if you combine them together, you know, you get like a protein-rich meal. So it's not necessarily you have to eat tofu. I know so many of you probably would say, oh, I don't like it or something, even though I used to say that too, and now I love it. So maybe it takes time to change your taste.
Yeah.
Or of course it depends on the way it's cooked. But yeah, don't think that piece of chicken needs to be replaced with piece of something as a vegan. Not necessarily. Vegetables, all other things we listed also has protein. And if you combine, you still get enough of it. You just need to be aware of it.
That's so true. That's so true. When I went vegan, I was still conditioned and brainwashed to think that I needed that meat replacement on my plate, and if I didn't have anything there in replacement for the meat I used to eat, it almost looked like an incomplete meal, because that's how I'd been brought up and that's how I'd been conditioned to view meals. And it's not the case. As you say, there's protein in everything. You know, broccoli's high in protein, loads of vegetables are. So yeah, don't get too caught up on protein. It's very important to be mindful of it.
Yeah.
It is a very important macronutrient. Pay attention, but it's not as important as the mainstream media and marketing would make it out to be. When I was younger, I used to have spreadsheets of all my macronutrients, you know, and trying to aim for example, 2 times my body weight in kilograms, the amount of protein, or 3 times, so I'd be aiming for kind of 200 grams a day. Now I don't even track it. I'm just mindful of getting a little bit with each meal.
Once you know what your food consists of, you don't really need to calculate. You know that like quinoa has protein. You know that sweet potato has those like good starchy carbs. So as far as you know, you're fine, right? So I would rather spend my time educating myself in nutrition in general, like what food consists of what nutrients, rather than calculating every calorie. Like, I think it's better way to spend your time just educating yourself about food and nutrition. And let's say in this case we talk about vegan nutrition. You need to read a bit and research. If you've never done it before, and if you eat just potato chips as vegan, of course you will be very deficient in many things. But if you're mindful and you know about food, you'll be more than fine. I mean, don't we look fine? And we feel
like to think
healthy, fit, and I never felt better since I became vegan. So
yeah, I generally like to advise clients, if you're eating a plant-based diet with loads of variety, then the macronutrients generally look after themselves. You don't have to worry about your protein, your fats, your carbs. You'll get plenty of those. If you went around a hospital today and did a survey and asked all the patients what they were in there from, I guarantee none of them would say they're in there from a protein deficiency. So it's something that is important, particularly if you're training very hard. But like I say, I haven't tracked it for years, and you know, we train for often hours each day, and we just ensure we eat lots of variety, and it just looks after itself.
Yeah, when
So-
we go to shop or we look at the menu, if we go out, I mean, we are aware, like, oh, does that food is, you know, rich in nutrients in general, and, you know, we're just mindful of what we put in our bodies. And whole foods, real foods, is just the best you can do for yourself and your health.
Yeah.
And you don't need to, like, calculate every single detail.
Yeah, and a nice split to aim for would be to aim for 80% whole plant-based foods, so things which come in their natural form that grow out of the ground or come off trees, and 20% processed foods. And like I said before, that doesn't mean processed foods with empty calories with no nutritional value. Doesn't mean, you know, a packet of Pringles or whatever. It means
Not
nutritious,
those.
yeah, nutritious processed foods. So, like I said, things like tofu, tempeh, which are very rich in protein and micronutrients, but don't come out of the ground like that or off the tree. They're not like that in their natural form, but they're still very, very good for the body.
Yeah, one more question.
What is your... Yeah, what would be your favourite food to snack on if you're hungry in between meals?
Yes, so I'm absolutely obsessed with fruit. And people who say that fruit is unhealthy or it's like sugar, I disagree. Because what can be more natural, what comes literally out of nature there for us in this beautiful, vibrant colors, with this amazing taste. So for me, fruit is like a dessert, like a snack, and I always feel great. It fills me up, tastes amazing, you can make so many interesting things with it, and it's as natural as you can get. So fruit definitely is my main snack. If I want something a bit more filling, it would be like nuts or some seeds. Not too much, because it also has fat, and if you're concerned about losing weight, it can be, you know, an issue, but it's still healthy, and you need those healthy fats. Fat in general is not bad, it just depends how much you eat of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say that. Nuts. I like dates as well, because I also sometimes have sweet tooth. Not I don't like cookies or ice creams, I like chocolate. So at some point I would get chocolate, and now I'm very mindful not to, or at least not often. So dates is like the best. It's so sweet, it's perfect for sweet tooth, and it's so much healthier than any chocolate you can find.
Yeah, and definitely, as you said, do not be afraid of fruit. Fruit is amazing. Like you say, there's a reason it's evolved to look that good and taste that good and smell that good. It's so good for us, and it's packed full of antioxidants. It's packed full of micronutrients. It's made up predominantly of water, so
Hydrates you amazingly.
yeah, and it does contain fructose, it does contain sugar, but it's evolved in such a magnificent way. Nature's so amazing. There's a gecko chirping at us. That was good timing. It's evolved in such a magnificent way that the fibre in fruit mitigates the sugar spikes and the insulin release that are on the body. So it's actually been proven that it's not that detrimental to your blood sugar levels, and it's absolutely amazing. That's why if you are going to have fruit, have it in its whole form. Try and stay away from juices and things like that which extract the fibre, and that is not great for the body. If you have a glass of orange juice, you know, it's very high in sugar, and it hasn't got the fibre there to mitigate it as nature intended it to. So fruit's great, but just try and have it in its whole form and stay away from the fruit juices, because although they do contain nutrients, they still have that negative impact on the body where they affect your blood sugar levels and the insulin release and things like that.
Okay, and to make it nice ending, I have spicy question for Scott.
Oh, a spicy one to finish.
Yes. So for people who maybe think to go plant-based or interested in that, can you, without big talks, just list 3 things how vegan diet makes you healthier?
So, number 1, there's virtually no saturated fat in a vegan diet. So Fat's great, as you said earlier, but we want the unsaturated fat. There's a lot of saturated, nasty fats in animal products, which if you think of pouring bacon fat, once you cook bacon, if you think about pouring it down the drain, that all congeals and solidifies in the pipes. Think of those pipes like your arteries, and over the years all of that fat is clogging up, leads to heart disease, a lot of other problems. So one is the basically non-existent amount of saturated fat in a plant-based diet. You do get some in coconuts and coconut products, but other than that it's very hard to find saturated fat in plants. So I'd say that. I'd say just the amount of variety and micronutrients you get. When I used to eat animal products, I was a lot more narrow-minded and a lot more limited in my taste. I used to have, you know, often the same meals like chicken, brown rice,
chicken rice.
broccoli.
I mean, people, fitness people especially, it's crazy. It's like boring and not tasty after.
It's boring, and like I said, you're fixated on these macronutrients. You know, getting the carbs, the proteins.
Where all of the micronutrients?
The micronutrients are even more important.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting a lot more variety. You know, I'm trying a lot more, experimenting a lot more, eating loads more fruits, loads more vegetables. And if you think about it logically, there's probably only about 4 or 5 animal products we eat on a regular basis. Maybe some eggs, some cheese, red meat, fish, chicken, maybe a few others, but they're the main ones. And there's literally thousands of different edible fruits and plants.
Like in that song, you remember the name? When rapping about all those fruit and vegetables.
The reggae guy.
Yeah.
We'll attach that to the Facebook group.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending song. They're listing all the
Maccabee reggae vegan song. It's a classic. We'll attach that after. And third benefit of going vegan. Okay, I mean everyone goes plant-based or vegan for different reasons, and it's a very personal thing. The main 3 reasons are your own health, animal welfare, and the health of our planet and the environment. I went vegan for all 3, not exactly in that order, but I think...
In the question it was health benefits, so
health
we
benefits?
can talk about these others in the other interview.
Okay.
So it was no saturated fats, variety, with all the minerals and micronutrients.
And another health benefit would be just my endurance and recovery. I just feel much lighter. I feel like my body takes what it needs from the vegetables and fruits in terms of the micronutrients, and the body takes what it needs, processes it much quicker.
Digest so fast.
And you know, and passes through us. Whereas if you eat animal products, a lot of them can sit in your stomach festering for days. It can take a long time to get a steak or some red meat through your gut and through your intestine and processed. And if you think about that logically, the food's actually sitting inside us festering, which is not great. It doesn't feel good, it's not great for the body. So health-wise, the third benefit would be just how good I feel in terms of energy, endurance, stamina, and recovery.
Nice. And it's our opinion. We don't try to imply anything. We've been regular meat eaters for many years as the rest of the world, and I personally think that we all on the journey to change, and like evolution is happening. Evolution is happening in us within understanding diet. So I think we all on our own journey, and we're not here to judge or imply anything. We just literally share how it affects us and what we know and feel about it. And we do a lot of research, and we keep doing, because it's so much to know and to learn, and that's why we're spreading the word. And if you're interested, of course listen to us, but if you feel like you're not there yet, don't think that we are trying to judge or something, because we're not.
It's not the way to go.
Our families are still eat meaters. We still have loads of friends who are eat meaters. and we talk about it if we've been asked, but we not go and imply rules to anyone. It's just what we believe. So
Yeah, got to do what you feel is right and follow your heart, but everyone's different. And yeah, if you've got any feedback or you disagree with any parts, then again, let us know. It's all about discussing it. And
discussing, not arguing. Like so much material to read, and not all of them is truth. So it sparks some arguments. We're not scared of arguments. We just want discussion rather than argument. And yeah, we're just here to share how it affects us. Not, my neighbor or some school teacher. We just talk from our own experience.
nice. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed, and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.